was quite a presentation. I'd like to see you in 10 years' time. Okay, we are continuing our journey around the world, and this time we're heading to Malaysia. How many of you have been to Malaysia? Put your hand up. One, two, two people. Okay, three people. We're all going to Malaysia now. Our next speaker is another doctor. This is Dr. Chong Leong Puan. We call him Puan. He's a wildlife professor at the University of Putra, Malaysia. He completed his PhD in wildlife ecology in 2010 and is his country's representative for the Asian Raptor Research and Conservation Network. His research interests include the ecology of nocturnal and diurnal raptors, as well as other birds and habitats in Malaysia. Puan was a conservation science trainee at Hawk Mountain in 2013. Please welcome Puan.
Um, Thanks, Drew. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a bit cool for me. And I'm supposed to be in bed now this time, but I'll try my best to do this. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Okay. So my turn here to talk about what's have been happening in Asia for the past 30 years in terms of raptor conservation. Okay, here during my time, there were actually 5 trainees. From left to right is actually myself, Han Q from Korea, Marta from Spain, Mariam from California, and Faiza from Pakistan. You know, David was asking me what do I gain from the traineeship. Actually, this is what I gained: the memories, or the friendship, as well as experiences. Well, you know what? All the skill that I learned about migration count, about doing raptor research, these are the skills that I learned that I've been using until today when I'm in my teaching as well as in my research. Okay. Okay, what I'm going to talk about today include all these. What about Asian raptors? And what are the current threats and issues? What kind of conservation measures? And at the end, I'm going to talk about how much research we have been done in Asia. Okay, in Asia, there are more than 230 raptor species. Okay, 1/4 they are actually migratory. And as you know, Asia, even though it's the largest continent, many species are found here, especially approaching equator. We have more in terms of biodiversity. And all these species, some of them are endemic and threatened. Okay, many of them are actually under study. Okay. Many species are extinction prone. Okay, because many raptors are found in specialized habitat. They have special requirements. For example, for those who are living in montane forests, cloud forests, peat swamp forests, which is very hard to access, and limestone. So these are what we call specialists or specialized species. There should be more studies should be conducted, and they should be protected. Okay, similar to other raptor species. So besides resident species, there are migratory species that coming from northern hemisphere to southern hemisphere each year. And similar to other cow sites, there are major cow sites in Asia, such as Chumpon in Thailand, Kenting in Taiwan, and Tanjung Tuan in Malaysia. All these cow sites have become a local attraction. They have generated local income, facilitating research and education with respect to migratory raptors. Okay, so far so good. As we all know, raptors, they are carnivorous. So in a food chain or food pyramid, Asian raptors, they come in different sizes, so they occupy different trophic levels of food pyramid. And they are playing critical role providing ecological services and functions. And in Asia, many agricultural areas such as paddy fields, plantations, particularly oil palm plantations, we have been using barn owls by providing them wooden or plastic nest boxes for them to provide biological control of rats. Okay, in this plantation also other bird species like dinoraptors such as black-winged kite, that's chain name, used to be called black-shouldered kite, which also feed on rats. Okay, okay. So south, central, and east part of Asia, scavengers, the vultures are important of removing carcasses, which actually preventing spread of diseases. Okay, so that is to say, without raptors, as you know, I'm sure all of you know, it will actually cause a cascading effects. What does it mean by cascading effects? It's actually a change effect whereby removing a species you will call impact to other species. Okay, there are many examples. For example, because of the population reduction of vultures in India, which is linked to the predation of leopards. Leopards have been wandering into villages to look for alternative prey because vultures are dying. I'm not sure whether you get the story. Okay, so in the case of India, because vultures are dying is because farmers are using chemicals, medication to treat the livestock, which is called diclofenac, okay, which can be used to treat inflammation in livestock. So vulture actually die after feeding those carcasses. Because availability, abundance of carcasses, stray dogs actually, their population built up, and stray dog actually attracted the leopards to go into villages. And it has become a threat to villages, especially kids. Okay, that's why you are seeing a lot of videos. Leopards are going into people's houses to look for stray dogs and dogs, people's pet. Okay, we do have common problems like other trainees that, okay, similar problem, habitat loss and habitat degradation. Human activities such as harvesting of forest resources, poaching and illegal trade recently is a problem. We have seen there are cases of people keeping raptors at home, selling them online. So normally these cases are very hard to be traced. But locally we do report to the wildlife department. Secondary poisoning is what I mentioned just now. Collision with wind turbine, collision with vehicles, electrocution, feeding of unnatural food. This is, okay. In places like Malaysia, people go to mangroves to watch for raptors, and the tour guide actually find ways to attract these raptors to come closer to the boat by throwing chicken organs into the water to attract these raptors. Normally you see them in big numbers, hundreds of them. So this actually is a tourist attraction. Okay, and then intentional accidental trappings by farmers as usual, and also fishermen. Okay, you see fishermen, they don't like fish eagle to prey on their fish. That's why they start putting out mist nets to trap these raptors. And limestone quarrying is dealing with, many limestone in Asia, they are being occupied by peregrine falcons. And limestone quarrying, okay, people make marble out of it. This actually is a form of trap. But so far, we haven't assessed the threats to the peregrine population. Okay, this is a new came up in 2008 in southern part of Malaysia, where more than 800 carcasses of owls have been found. Okay, and this yes, is believed that these carcasses will be sorry, I'm getting a bit cold. So these carcasses will be used, will be transported into neighboring countries. I won't mention the countries, but it's believed for medicinal treatment, certain medicinal treatment. And if you see closely, all the feathers, body feathers have been removed except the head. So do you know what's the purpose of doing this? Just to tell these are owls, these are not chickens. So they have values. Okay. Okay. So I show you an example, a study conducted in Taiwan by Hong 2019. He actually done a study assess the rodenticide concentration in the river sample taken from raptor carcasses. He has found that among other raptors he studied, including backwing kite, black kite, crested gorehawk, collared scopesow, as well as crested serpent eagle, all of them had concentration of rodenticide in their river. And it also showed that this concentration, they change according to this, their seasonal changes according to the time that poisons were provided by the government. Okay. At the bottom, I actually pictures taken in Malaysia. In Malaysia, even though we are using barn owls to provide biological control of rats, but it's, at the same time, plantation owners, they are still using rodenticides. Do you know why? Any idea? Okay, the owner of the plantation, normally they want zero damage, so which is impossible. So locally, they still put up next boxes for the barn owl as a form of greenwashing, some form of greenwashing, okay? But we do have plantations that agree not to use any rodenticides. Okay. So the other observation that we have is actually behavioral observation. Okay, we are seeing raptors starting to behave differently. Okay, some raptors actually move into urban areas to hunt for different prey, such as at the bottom you can see Brahminic kite hunting for pigeons, something they are not used to consume and catch. Okay, this is what I meant at the beginning. You can see large number of Brahminic kites being attracted to the boat. Okay, and this picture is actually showing a changeable hawk eagle, a dino raptor hunting a cat in the evening. You can see there's a cat here. Okay, so these are what we're observing in terms of behavioral changes. Okay, so in year 2013, I attended a conference in Taiwan, which is related to agriculture practices using raptors. I had a chance to meet Professor Huang, standing in the middle. He actually wrote a paper about nocturnal hunting of peregrine falcon in one of the tower, the light tower called Kaopin River Bridge, the tower. So the peregrine falcon in the southern part of Taiwan, they have learned to hunt in the evening. from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And from this study, Huang actually found out that there are at least 44 prey items being found and stored up at the tower because Huang has put up camera traps there. So it's good that I have a chance to see the tower. And beside him, beside us, is actually Alan Fish. He's actually the director of at the Golden Gate Raptor Observatory. Yeah. Okay. Some other issues including mismatch of research findings and conservation efforts, gaps in terms of scientific research and also policy development, and difficult to include multiple stakeholders. Okay, some stakeholders, they have their priorities, and sharing data is always a problem in Asia. Obtaining financial support, okay, to sustain our programs, as well as there are also difficulties of finding volunteers to continue the raptor count, for example, and lack of research and research advancement and larger knowledge gap in relative to developing countries. Okay. No, I'm okay. No, you don't have to do that. Okay. Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. Malaysia is not that weak. Okay, there's a lack of study. Okay, in terms of forest-dependent species, island endemics, many islands are found in Asia, such as those in Indonesia. So there are a lot of endemics, as well as habitat specialists that I mentioned just now. So imminent effects coming from global climate change, also sea rising levels, indicates urgent needs for long-term as well as in-depth studies on ecological raptors in Asia. Increase, but however, we have observed that there are increase of ecological studies for the past 30 years. So this is a good sign. Okay. These are the journals that most of the study on the Asian raptors that they are published can be found. Okay. So similar to other countries, we have citizen science. Okay, many people, they volunteers, and you'll be surprised many of the records, findings about ecological or local raptors are coming from volunteers, or these citizen scientists, or you call it community scientists. Okay, I show you some examples coming from Hong Kong, coming from Malaysia, as well as Singapore. They have their own raptor newsletter. Okay, I want to show this because there's a lady, she retired and she lived in northern part of Malaysia. Over the past 20 years or so, she actually has been observed raptors outside her house. Okay, so many observation and behavior and description of local raptor species has been made by this lady, including the black-type falconet, okay, gray-headed fish eagle. She managed to observe the breeding behavior. She managed to tell how to differentiate the sexes for the falconet. And she have observed the breeding ecology of peregrine falcon as well. Okay, so she's very impressive. Okay, so volunteers are also are there to do migration count in Asia. Most of them are done by volunteers. Okay. So this is actually a picture showing you Tanjung Tuan, the prominent cow site in Malaysia. So we have been counting for more than 10 years. We collected a lot of data. So from this data, we actually managed to publish 2 papers, one in 2014, the other in 2019, from 2 cow sites. One is Tanjung Tuan, one is typing. So the Tanjung Town, we were counting the northbound migration, while for typing, we are counting the southbound migration. And you can see based on the data, similar to those data that collected from Hot Mountain, we're able to tell the pattern, migration magnitude, as well as migration timing. Okay. Okay. So some potential research, such as what Walter, I also call him Walter. He's my roommate. So use of IoT, Internet of Things, AI, okay? Assessing of vocalization. This is what I've been using now. I actually have a paper on vocalization of changeable hawk eagle that has been recently published in Journal of Raptor Research. And final one is economic valuation. Now we are locally in Asia, like places like Malaysia, we've been talking about placing of values to the forest, placing of values to habitat, placing of values to a species. So there are increased in terms of economic valuation studies of raptors. Okay, this is another study, my study. So in 2019, when we were tracking this particular owl species, is a reddish scops owl, and near threatened category. So when we were tracking these owl species at night, we found out the owls had these duets with another individual. So we actually put out recorders, we followed the owl. So we managed to collect 45 recordings comprising of each of it comprising of 2 to 30 notes of this owl species. We managed to use their calls to separate the sexes. So it turned out that the male, the calls are actually higher in pitch. So this is a male, the other is female. So they actually duets in antophony response. Okay, talking about raptor conservation in Asia, I have to mention that Asian Raptor Research and Conservation Network is the prominent organization that is doing the work as well as gathering all the raptor researchers in Asia. Since the first symposium in year 1998, okay, there are a total of 33 countries. Now we have more than 260 members. And what ARRCN is doing is actually, the main purpose is to exchange information, to compile data on raptors, to coordinate related raptor work, as well as to educate and provide trainings for young raptor researchers. So over the past 20 years or so, we have conducted 12 symposiums. I think some of you attended some of the symposiums. That is where I met Keith for the first time, who introduced me about the traineeship. That's how I joined the traineeship. Okay. So over the years, countries are taking turn to host the conference, starting from Japan, Indonesia, Taiwan, Malaysia, Vietnam, Mongolia, South Korea, India, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia hosted again virtually, okay, during the pandemic. And the next one is actually will be held in Taiwan in April next year. Okay, so everyone is invited to join. And before that, actually, before Taiwan, Nepal is the one who's supposed to host the conference. But then Nepal has also some difficulties. So that's why Taiwan will be hosting the next symposium. Okay, besides all the symposium proceedings, these are the two important publications coming from ARCN. They are guides on raptors, migratory raptors, as well as residential raptors in Asia. Okay. Similar to other countries, community engagement is another approach. There are many successful stories coming from Asia. This is the most successful one. I'm going to show you a video later at the end of my talk. Okay. The NGO in Philippines, the Raptor Watch Network Philippines, have managed to stop people from catching and consuming the gray-faced buzzard in Philippines. They were coming from Japan to Philippines, so people were catching them, consuming them. So this, the Raptor Watch network in Philippines, they managed to stop this tradition, people's tradition of hunting these raptor species. Other examples will be coming from Philippines, the Philippine eagles, involving public to do educational work, to create awareness. Black kite and oriental honey buzzard in Taiwan. Amur falcon in India. When Amur falcon was passing through India, people catch them, catching them in big numbers. So recently, this activity has been managed to be to stop due to community engagement. Okay, I have to say that in terms of education, creating awareness, Taiwanese are doing a good job. So they created a lot of education materials, a lot of activities, community engagement with the farmers, apiary, because the oriental honey buzzard are going to apiary to look for pupa of the bees to eat them. So the Raptor Research Group of Taiwan, they are doing a good job of convincing the farmers not to kill these raptors. Instead, they are educating raptors to promote raptors as an attraction in their apiary. Okay. And if you don't know, the Raptor Research Group of Taiwan, they actually produce documentaries. I've seen some of them, which are really good. If you have a chance to see them, okay, you should watch them. Okay, I'll give you an example. The first video is about the oriental honey buzzard in Taiwan. So in Taiwan, this oriental honey buzzard is actually a resident species. They breed in Taiwan. In the video, what I remember the most is actually the courtship behavior in the air. The oriental honey buzzard will actually clap their wings in the air. That's what I remember. You see, this behavior I do not manage to see in the wild, but through the video, okay, I remember them forever, which is very important. Okay, so in Asia, basically it covers 3 major flyways: the East Asian Australasian flyway, the Central Asian flyway, as well as the West Asia African flyway. So you can see raptors, they don't know borders, and countries have to work together, creating regional international frameworks and collaboration in protecting all the migratory raptors. Okay, and because of the last conference, ARCN conference, we managed to have link up ARCN as well as GREEN, and also the Raptor Research Network, Global Anthropos Raptor Research Network. Okay, these are 2 databases that encourage everyone to input, put in their raptor sightings. Okay, so now we'll look at how much we have done in terms of research in Asia. Chris McGraw from Peregrine Fund actually has done a good study reviewing what we have done in terms of raptor research in 2018. He published a paper. So from this diagram, you can see in terms of research, priority for management action. In terms of research, population trends, life history, ecology threats, action, taxonomy, harvest, use of livelihood. These are the research that have been done. Okay, so to come here, actually do a study. I gather all the research paper in the past, including using Google Scholar. So I actually searched all the species found in Asia, okay, as well as the country, okay, digging into local journals, as well as particular journals where in which many raptor studies have been published. And we also look into all these past symposium proceedings, because some of these proceedings is not accessible to other people. Okay, as well as local reports and also observation done by citizen science. So this is what we found out, what I found out. Okay, this is just to show you the proportion of raptor species found in Asia. Okay. I did try to put it according to countries. You can see they come in different colors. So, but it's quite hard to be interpreted. So from here, what I can tell you is actually some countries like Japan and also Thailand, in which many raptors species have been found. At the same time, they are doing a good job in raptor research. So the map on the right is actually number of raptor research found. The darker the color, the more the species. In the middle is actually number of species that have been studied. On the right is actually number of species that are not being studied yet. Okay. Okay. Then I try to put in this all number of studies according to the country. It's quite messy here, but what we can tell here is actually Japanese is doing a lot of raptor studies among all the Asian countries. Okay. Then I arrange all the journal articles according to the numbers over the past 30 years. Here we can see I managed to do it for Southeast Asia as well as East Asia. And for Southeast Asia, you can see the number of journal articles related to raptor species has gone up over the years. As the same goes to East Asia, and you add them up, you can see the number of papers actually has increased over the years. Okay, so these are the aspects being covered. Okay, okay, guess what? Which one is the highest? The highest one came from observation. This is what I meant by community science, the citizen science. Okay, other research on local raptors will be about anthropogenic threats, behavior ecology, and this one is actually population census and monitoring. Okay, so these are just details of what aspects fall under anthropogenic threat, behavior ecology, and so on. Okay, so this is a summary of what I found. A total of 203 species of raptor species. Okay, 125 are dino species, 108 autochthonous species. These are the 84 under critical endangered, 11 endangered, 19 vulnerable, 29 near threatened. And among all the raptor species, 180 raptor species have been studied. Okay, these are distribution according to the families, Accipiter, Faconidae, Strigidae, and so on. And total of 2,226 publications have been produced, in which 500 coming from conferences, conference abstracts, 1,200 coming from journal articles, about more than 300 coming from websites, as well as 174 coming from reports and also book chapters. Okay, the way forward, similar to other countries, continue of capacity building, especially training young researchers, more support from the government agencies and research institutions, research on lesser known resident species, and threat assessment, such as including anthropogenic activities, landscape change, and climate change, the effects on raptors, citizen science, and more effective collaboration among countries along the flyways in Asia. Okay, I'm going to play a a video. The video is in Japanese, but with English subtitles.
サシバという鳥がいます。タカの仲間です。春から夏にかけて日本でも子育てをし、秋になると冬を越すために遠く南の島々を目指して一斉に旅立っていく、いわゆる渡りをする鳥です。どんどん数を減らす傾向にあり、絶滅危惧2類に指定されるサシバ。そのかけがえのない命を守るためには、繁殖地、中継地、越冬地、国境を越えた保護活動が必要です。鳥には国境がないからです。アジア猛禽類ネットワークを中心とする国際的なプロジェクトチームの調査から、近年謎に包まれていたサシバの生態と行動が少しずつ明らかになってきました。そして3年前、ここフィリピン・ルソン島北部で大きな発見がありました。
本当にたくさんのサシバがここに集結しているということが分かったということなんですね。同時に密猟がすごいということも分かってしまって、はっきりとショックだったんですよ。おおよそ3500から5000羽ぐらいが殺されているということが分かったんですよ。今日本から南へ渡っていく数が2万ほどしかいないのに、本当に絶滅してしまう。
危機感を抱いたチームのメンバーは、フィリピンの現地スタッフとともにサシバの重要性を伝える活動を始めました。そしてサシバに対する人々の意識が変わり始めたのです。
Previously been eating this, but are eating our are destroying our coconuts. They're not happy about it. We just like to do this.
I stopped hunting because it is part of our culture. Before I am not that knowledgeable, or maybe I overlook the importance of birds in our place. From hunter to ex-hunter, now I am the local known tour guide. Being a tour guide, it gives me an opportunity to meet you guys. It's good, and I praise God from of my transformation from hunter to a tour guide.
It's a very challenge to the researchers to track these special social birds. We do 6 o'clock in the morning and up to 6 o'clock in the evening. It is a great help because the length of our stay in the very, very long as compared with other researchers. So we really need support to sustain our daily activities.
We will encourage the people to help one another. So because of Sally.
アジア猛禽類ネットワークと現地スタッフや学生が地道な活動を始めて3年。
今日現在まで密猟がないという報告を受けたんですね。これで本当にこの地域の豊かな自然、それから多様性のある自然というものが次の世代に引き継いでいける道筋ができたと。風が変わったんですね。
春、サシバは再び日本に戻ってきます。各地の天然水の森でも元気にヒナが育っています。このヒナたちの成長を心待ちにしている人々が遠い南の島にもいる。国境を越えた人と人との思い、それをつなぐ翼がいつまでも羽ばたき続けますように。
Okay, there you go. That's the example that I told you just now about the successful case in Philippines. Okay, I'd like to thank Hawk Mountain. I couldn't imagine I have a chance to visit Hawk Mountain again, thanks to Laurie, okay, and all the staff from Hawk Mountain. It's good to see everyone. I would like to thank ARCN, the local research group of Malaysia and my university. Before I end my talk, I actually want to talk about the, I believe many of you have received the survey. So this survey the idea was rated during a discussion with Laurie and also Rebecca, and in 2022. So I had this idea, since there are so many trainees being trained over the past 50 years or so. So what if we do a study to assess the impact of the traineeship to the trainees? Okay, so the survey was conducted to assess the impact of traineeship, including tangible and intangible outcomes. So during the survey, we asked the trainees about their background, their experiences, what do they gain out of the traineeship. Okay, so this is proportion of trainees. You can see half of them coming from North America, half of them coming from other countries. This graph actually shows that more trainees should be encouraged to come to Hog Mountain, especially those from other countries. Okay, and this graph is showing you the number of trainees, okay, according to those coming from United States as well as international trainees. And because of the build of a Copian Center, okay, in year 2002, you can see there's an increase in terms of international trainees. Okay, these are actually preliminary results coming out from the survey. So we found out that 78% of the alumni are currently involved in Raptor research, education, banding, hog watching, conservation activities, advocacy, and voluntary work. Almost 50% of them say that they have collaborated with other trainees, which is good. Okay, and about 87% say that they will recommend the traineeship to other people. Okay, then we actually done a thematic analysis of all the response coming out from the survey. We managed to identify all the keywords, what actually the trainees gain coming out from the traineeship. These are the keywords, including the field techniques, which is the most important one, self-growth, opportunity to publish, collaboration, education and outreach, knowledge, research, guiding their career path after attending the traineeship, academic training, networking, and opportunity to pursue their study, similar to Merlin. Okay, and then many trainees actually managed to continue to do their work in their home country, okay, after the traineeship, in terms of education, research, public knowledge, community engagement, and conservation. So again, I'd like to highlight the same message. You can see we can get a lot of things out of the traineeship. And trainees, all the trainees, we know each other, we get connected, we build our friendship, and easier to work together. You know, for the ARCN conference, we training some of us coming from different countries, we actually make like an appointment to meet during the symposium. So every symposium we have a chance to meet. So I believe Hog Mountain, the traineeship actually has built up the global initiative of protecting and conserving raptor throughout the world, which is really good. I would like to see this traineeship can be continued, and hopefully there are more support to sustain the traineeship. Okay, with that, I thank everyone for your attention. Thanks for the blanket. Okay, thanks.